Hi, book besties. Shen here. I hope you guys are doing well. We'll be talking about my 5-star books of 2025. So, these are all the 5-star books I have read in 2025 so far, but I will not mention the ones I have spoken to you guys about in my previous videos. So, these are the new ones that I couldn't talk to you guys about. So, let's talk about them. So the first book is Towards Zero by Agatha Christie. This is the book. In this book, we follow an investigation done by Superintendent Battle and Inspector Leach. The investigation is about a lady, a widow, an elderly widow called Lady Treslin. While there was a kind of a house gathering, house party of sorts, and this inspector and superintendent, they're trying to find out who the killer is, like your basic who's done it story, as usual from Agatha Christie. And this was a 5-star read for me. At first, I don't know, I got bored, I think, with initial story in this book. I think that's because I wasn't in the mood to read a mystery book. Shocking. But I was just coming out of a reading slump, so that could be the reason. And it took me good 2 weeks to finish this small book because of my reading slump. And as usual, I ate this book up. I loved this book so much. As usual, Agatha Christie proves once again that she's the mastermind of detective fiction. And this, apart from the initial chapters, once I got into the story, I could not put this book down. It's so good, you will not guess the twist at all. And if you are craving for good old who's done it, a detective fiction novel, this is the one to pick up. So the second book is Truly Madly Deeply by L.J. Shen. This is the first time I've ever heard of this author. I'm not sure if I was living under a rock. And she seems to be a very famous author. I'm not sure how I haven't heard about her before. This is the first ever book I have read of this author. And at first, I could not get into the story because it felt like a bit of Wattpaddy story at first. But then when I got into the story, I really loved how she has written the story with layers. At a glance, you would think this book is just another grumpy sunshine love story. There is so much depth to the story than it lets on the initial chapters. It's also a chunky book, and I have read this book in 2 days, and I loved it so much. It's 498 pages, and in this book we follow Ambrose Casablancas and Cal Latwin. So Cal has left her hometown 5 years ago due to a falling out with her best friend, while having a crush on best friend's elder brother, that is Ambrose Casablancas. Now, Ambrose now is a renowned chef and Michelin star chef who's going to open a restaurant in Cal Latwin's hometown. And at the same time, her dad had passed away, and she's going back to the hometown for the funeral and be with her mother for some time until things get settled down for her mother. And then she meets her former best friend and her elder brother again in the hometown, and the story goes from there. This story talks about how unconventional your love could be towards a person, and also about the friendship that some friends are meant to be forever, no matter the distance. And when it comes to friendship, not holding grudges towards each other for petty things that happened when you were young or naive. Things like that. I really love this book. Although I didn't quite love the spicy scenes in this book because there are so many of them. I feel like it's too. Other than that, I really, really love this book. The reason I rated this book 5-star is that themes the writer spoke about in this book are really vital to the story. And I could overlook the spicy scenes, really bad spicy scenes because of that. And I'm really open to read L.J. Shen's other books too. I know they are not for everybody, but I think I could give this author another chance since I really like this book. So the next book is not a new author, but I think I have spoken to you guys about her books before. And I have recommended a book to you guys, and I said I will not read the series because I was disappointed with other books of the series apart from the book I recommended to you guys. I saw this book in the bookstore under-reduced, so I thought I'll give it a go. And this book is Fall With Me, which is the last book of the series, I think. And in this is a hockey romance. And in this, we follow Jackson Riley and Lennon Hayes. So Jackson is a person who doesn't trust easily because he had to move because of his career so many times that he couldn't form a proper home in any of the cities he's been to, he's worked for. And so the current city is Vancouver, Canada, in Canada. So he's surrounded by the team of this hockey team and best friends who adore him, who treat him like their own family. But Jackson Riley is still not convinced that this set of friends, this friendship and love they shower him with is forever. As trust issues, he doesn't think that he is worthy of the love of his friends or from a partner. He doesn't see himself getting settled down. You would think for a romance, it's a chunky one, but trust me, it is needed for the story. And there are so many layers to this story. And then again, I did not like the spicy scenes in this book. I felt like they are a bit too much for my liking. If you could overlook the spicy scenes, if you don't like them that much, you could see why I have rated this book 5 stars, because it talks about so many important topics. It adds a great value to your life, I feel like. So I will read the dedication for you. This is my favorite part. For those who think they are better off alone, that they are not worthy of the love they crave because they have dealt with the pain of people leaving, the power to let them win or rise above it with your head held high is yours and yours alone. The only person who needs to think you are worth it is you. I really love that dedication. And if you could give this a go, I think you would really enjoy this book. Before I get into the next 2 books, I'm really mad at myself for not reading them sooner. I'm talking about Lisa Jewell's books. I'm addicted to Lisa Jewell's writing. Her writing is so good. It reminds me a bit of Agatha Christie's writing style for some reason. And I'm not sure why I didn't pick up her books before. I always wanted to read. None of this is true by Lisa Jewell. I still cannot find the book in the bookstore that I usually go to. I'm going to order it online. But I found her 2 books. I immediately grabbed those 2 books to see if I like her. I fell in love with her writing. One thing is Lisa Jewell is a British author, so all of her stories are based in London or any like other cities in Britain, which immediately made me fall in love with the book because that's my favorite city and that's my favorite way of traveling to the city through a book. And when I read Lisa Jewell's first book, that is The Truth About Melody Browne. So this is quite an old book. I think she wrote this in 2001 or 2000. So she has started writing in 1999. Now I want to collect all of her books and read them. So in this book, we follow Melody Browne. The strange thing about her life is that she has lost her memories of what her childhood was when she was 9 years old. She doesn't have any recollection of who she was before she turned 9 years old. So before she was 9, she doesn't remember anything at all. What happened when she was 9 years old is that there was a fire in her house. So due to that traumatic experience, taken outside by her father when there was a fire going on in the house, and when she opened her eyes, she could see only her mom and dad and the favorite painting of hers by her side. She could see that her house is on fire. That's all she remembers when she was 9 years old. And she cannot remember anything about her childhood before that incident. So I will tell you a bit about this story without giving away too much. I don't want to spoil this for you. I will talk about only the synopsis of this book. There's this show that she goes to, performed by a hypnotist, and there was a session done for her on stage. After that session, she sort of gets flashbacks from her childhood before she turned 9. So she gets random flashbacks from her childhood in another city with other people that are not her current parents. It starts off with a very strange memory flashbacks, and you will get confused at first to think what's happening to her memory. But you need to keep reading so that you can complete the puzzle that is the life of Melody Browne. And how she has written this story, and the end of the story is so wholesome, I immediately wanted to read the next book. So this is, of course, the 5-star book for me. And I love this so much. I did not waste any time after this book. I immediately started the second book. That is Lisa Jewell's Don't Let Him In. It's a big one. Trust me, I read this in 2 days. It's, I think, 460. In this, we follow Mack Radcliffe. I'm not sure how to explain this to you guys because her writing is such in this book. You will get parts of the story without any connection to each other at first. So you need to keep reading follow this pattern to form a story out of these chapters. It's brilliantly written. I'm sure you will fall in love with this book just like I did. And we follow a man in this book. He has different names. So there are 2 point of views in this book. One is given from that man's point of view. The other one is from all the other characters in the book, other women in the book. So this man is playing the role of a husband in many chapters of this book. And we need to follow the story that man tells us. We know him as Nick Radcliffe at first in this book. He writes to this widow whose husband gets killed in an accident, and he writes to the widow stating that he is an old friend of her late husband, and he expresses his condolences. He sends his condolences with a flower bouquet and a small card, and on the card there's his email. So she writes to him thanking for the flowers and the card, and the story goes from there. That's the first scene we see. And then this man explains to us, Nick Radcliffe explains to us about another family, and then another family. So you will see what this story is about. When you read about 200 pages into the story, you will see what is this about. I don't want to spoil this for you. I don't want to give more details other than the synopsis of the book. So you need to read this to understand what I just said. Please leave me a comment if you happen to pick up this book, because I would love to talk to you guys about this book. This is one of my favorite books of the year. I think this could be my favorite book so far out of all the books I have ever read. Now I want to collect Lisa Jewell's every other book she has ever written. So that's it for today, guys. Those are my 5-star books of the year so far. So let me know what you guys think about this book, and if you have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. And let me know what you are currently reading. I would love to know more book recommendations, because I don't know what to read. I have my TBR, which I have completely abandoned. And I'm reading books, basically mood reading these days. I would love your suggestions of any genre. I'm not picky. So I'll see you soon with a new video. Bye for now.